idiot David left his laptop unlocked. Oh my god, I can do anything I want. Oh my god, can you imagine the damage you can do with that? Somebody's got to stop him. I agree, he's a menace. He's got to be stopped. I know, let's team up. We can stop him together. You can be my assistant. No, I think I'll be in charge and you can be my assistant. Well, fuck you then. No, fuck you. No, fuck you. Fuck off. No, fuck you. Wow, I guess nobody's going to stop me then. Actually. And delete. Welcome to the David Frankal Show. You might notice that today's background is a little bit different, and that's because it's happened. The Frexodus has happened. We've left our house in Heald Green, and I'm currently in London. The rest of the Frankals, that's my parents and Noam, have moved to Muscat, Oman. I wonder what they're up to.
Hello, David's life. So, this is a small video to say what the rest of David's family has been up to. Now we've split for a little bit, so we're here in Muscat, and as you can see, it's all rather a mess because we've moved into my small flat while we're finding a big house. We flew over 3 days ago. We've been house hunting and doing lots of eating and drinking and meeting people. A quick word from Noam about highlights of the last 3-4 days. Off you go.
I can't.
Yep, and that'll do. And now over to Borry, who has some highlights of the last 3 or 4 days. Here we go. Borry's working hard on all our bills. Say hello to David's life.
Hi, David.
What have we been doing the last 3 or 4 days?
We've been living our dream, and I'm just frantically waiting for somebody to shake me and wake me up, and me realizing that it wasn't nothing else but a dream.
Anyway, so I came down to my cousin's house in London, where I'm currently staying until early September, when I'm going to go InterRailing for 2 months. But more about that in the next episode. So since the last episode, I went down to Porto, where my parents had already been for 6 days. We had a lovely few days exploring the city, drinking port and riding trams before we went on an exciting rail journey all the way through Coimbra, Hendaye, Paris and Brussels to the gorgeous Belgian city of Ghent, via the route of the legendary Sud Express. In Ghent, we walked around, ate some waffles and rode on some more trams before carrying on by train to Amsterdam, the city of canals, bicycles and weed. There we met Noam, who had been on summer camp in the Netherlands. In fact, we went out to pick him up from Roden, somewhere else in the Netherlands, so he hired an electric car for the day, which was an interesting experience. We had to stop about 5 times on the way back to charge. After that, we decided to race back to Manchester. Mum and Noam went by plane, and Dad and I went by train, changing in Brussels and London, because of course you can go direct from London to Amsterdam with the Eurostar, but you can't go back. We lost, obviously, but I think we put up a valiant fight. By plane, Mum and Noam did door-to-door in 5 hours. We made it in 7.5. You know, if Eurostar could figure out that whole through trains thing, that would be great. Not that connections by plane are much easier. I had a pretty bad experience trying to arrange my flight down to Porto. It was a connection via Madrid, which I'd originally booked with Iberia, but just over a week before I flew, I realised that Iberia had actually rescheduled the Manchester to Madrid flight by moving it forward 35 minutes, meaning I would no longer make my Porto connection, so I had to rebook a Ryanair flight and self-connect at Madrid. I think I should be entitled to a partial refund for my original ticket, because they tried to divert me to Vigo instead, but I'm still waiting for that. We got back from Amsterdam just in time for results day. Now, as expected, I did not quite get an A in geography. I was close, but not quite, so I ended up with 2 A stars and 2 Bs, which was enough to get me my insurance offer at Durham. Side note, since then we actually got one of the history papers remarked, and it was upgraded to literally just scraping an A, meaning I ended up with 2 A stars, 1 A and a B. The B, of course, being in the subject that I'm actually hoping to study. Soon after was my 18th birthday, which means I can officially drink. I can also vote, which may or may not come in handy, as there may or may not be a general election coming up. Then on Sunday the 18th of August, Duncan and I revisited Brookside, which has changed a lot since the last time we were there in 2016. There was a lot of news going around in 2018 that it was closing down, which was actually total nonsense. It didn't close down, it just changed ownership. However, there have been a lot of changes to the railway since I was last there, partially because of the new relief road that was built, partially because of a tunnel that was no longer safe. And more recently, the entire railway was hit by major flooding. But as I was told, thanks to the heroic efforts from volunteers from the railway, as well as the Highley Railway and from across the Brookside Garden Centre, they managed to reopen the railway in a matter of days. That same afternoon, we left Manchester, which means I had to pack all the stuff that I hadn't already put into storage. In theory, this was the stuff I was going to take with me InterRailing. Yes, I did leave it a bit last minute, and just as I got to packing it, I realised, oh my god, I still have way too much stuff. I don't mean in a, it's not practical for me to carry this round Europe for 2 months, kind of too much stuff. I mean, I physically cannot carry this stuff to London, kind of too much stuff. As of recording, some of my stuff is still in Manchester, waiting for me to go pick it up. In the meantime, I've been here in London trying to get through my long to-do list of about 500 things to do, including editing videos, moving my stuff onto my new laptop. I've got a long list and I've been working at it for 5 days, and yet somehow it just doesn't seem to be getting any smaller. I've got to plan my InterRailing as well. Meanwhile, in the world of politics, Boris Johnson has been given 30 days to solve a paradox the UK hasn't managed to solve in 3 years, so good fucking luck with that. Donald Trump, meanwhile, has decided to take a bit of a breather from stoking tensions in the Gulf with Iran and putting migrants into concentration camps to try and expand the United States by buying Greenland. Now, as hilarious as this may be, it's not actually unprecedented within US history. In fact, most of the central US and, of course, Alaska were purchased by the US from France and Russia, respectively. However, nowadays we care a little bit more about, autonomy and sovereignty, and we actually care a little bit about the people who actually live in these areas of land that we used to just hand around between each other like commodities, so that's probably not going to happen. As of recording, I have just one more video to upload from our trip to Blackpool, then I can move on to the Trainspotting Tour 4, the trailer of which has already been uploaded. The first episode will be next Friday. It'll be at London Euston. And I can also start uploading videos from Budapest and then, of course, Porto, Ghent and Amsterdam. Whilst travelling across Europe, I filmed a lot of Trainspotting episodes, but I'm going to hold those until after the Trainspotting Tour, so that there will be one form or another of Trainspotting every Monday and Friday for the next couple of months. This was a bit of a short episode, despite this being a slightly crazy time in my life. I have surprisingly little to talk about. I'm hoping to get an episode of Train News out next Sunday, and then maybe another episode of The David Frankal Show the Sunday after that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Blueberry's found a new bed. It's my laptop bag. He loves it. The second I put it down, he's like, this is mine now. I'm going to sleep here every day. Before I go, I'd just like to link you to some videos made by Reese Beard about the new East Midlands franchise. Also, this week's Train Spot of the Week is another snippet from the Trainspotting Tour 4. It is a Class 800 with Great Western Railway passing Ealing Broadway. Service from London Paddington to Great Malvern.